These two drugs have been favored in the treatment of COVID-19 following positive preliminary clinical data, but the off-label use of these drugs has resulted actually in poisoning due to overdosing.
Let's talk about how much it's going to cost you for COVID treatment. But before we get to it, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and smash that thumbs up button, and let's get right to it. Since Jan this year, the lab race to produce a vaccine began. Alongside vaccine research, doctors around the world started studying the effects of already existing drugs, aka repurposing them. By the way, can you guess the names of any drugs being repurposed? Let us know in the comment section below. While the search for generic drugs best suited for repurposing continued, a drug called Favipiravir emerged as being the most promising treatment for COVID-19. Enter Glenmark Pharmaceuticals, a Mumbai-based pharma giant that received approval to produce this drug. And they initially priced it at 103 rupees per tablet. So let's break down how much this treatment is actually going to cost you. According to Glenmark's online press conference, patients will have to take a total of 122 tablets for 14 days. The total cost of which would be 12,566 rupees, making it inaccessible to low-income groups. A show cause notice issued by the CDSCE stated that this drug was priced wrong and was not suitable for use in comorbid conditions, which is why they received approval for restricted emergency use in mild to moderate cases only. As for the pricing, Glenmark announced that it would bring down the price to 75 rupees per tablet, bringing down the price of the entire treatment to around 9,000 rupees. But this brings out an important point of discussion. Should there be a price cap to COVID drugs? To shed some light on this issue, we interviewed a public health expert.
Hi, Doctor. Thank you so much for joining us today. My first question to you is there a COVID-specific drug or cure right now?
Thank you, Neha, and thank you for having me on this virtual platform. So a short answer to your first question would be, I don't think there is any specific COVID drug that is in the market right now that will essentially cure COVID-19. There is no such drug. This is a condition that I and a whole bunch of scientists believe that will be cured eventually by a vaccine. There is no one drug that you can say is available in the market today that would cure COVID or eliminate COVID as a condition.
How do these repurposed drugs work, Doctor?
Repurposed drugs do not necessarily cure the condition of COVID. They are essentially used to control symptoms manifested by COVID patients. High fever, inflammation, pulmonary conditions or pulmonary symptoms. Let's look at some of the drugs that are in the market today. So the first one is Remdesivir, which is a drug which was initially developed in the treatment of Ebola or hemorrhagic fever, which happened during the Ebola outbreak. And how does it work? It essentially inhibits the replication or the multiplication of virus in the body. So what's the other very common drug is chloroquine or hydroxychloroquine, which is actually approved way back in the 1940s and 50s for the treatment of malaria and autoimmune diseases respectively. And these two drugs have been favored in the treatment of COVID-19 following positive preliminary clinical data, but the off-label use of these drugs has resulted actually in poisoning due to overdosing. There's a drug called Favipiravir. It's a drug that is now being sold by Glenmark Pharmaceuticals as Fabiflu, and it's priced at roughly about rupees 75 a tablet. Now, this is actually an oral antiviral drug. So it was actually used in HIV. And it was fast-tracked. Yes, it's an HIV drug which has been fast-tracked by the Drug Controller General of India for emergency used authorization for mild or moderate infections. This drug has not been approved for use in the EU or the US, and early data for this drug just showed a reduction in fever. That's it. So severely ill COVID-19 patients who are prescribed repurposed drugs might indeed benefit from the treatment, but until the results of large-scale randomized clinical trials are reviewed, they have to be monitored very carefully for potential adverse effects, especially if these drugs are tested in combination.
So, Doctor, coming to our debate topic, the company that manufactures Fabiflu, which is Glenmark Pharmaceuticals, not only are they marketing it as a cure for COVID, but they've also said it at a price that is not necessarily efficient or suitable for people in the lower income category. So, what do you have to say about that?
I think it sends an important message to both countries as well as pharmaceutical companies to work together, to be able to provide medicines that are inherently affordable to populations. So I absolutely think there should be a price cap on medications that address both COVID symptomology or COVID symptoms as well as the conditions itself.
Doctor, again, I'm just trying to play the devil's advocate here. But how is this price cap going to affect pharmaceutical companies? What is the other side of having a price cap?
Most pharmaceutical companies make their money over a multi-year period because of the patents that they have on these various drugs. And I don't think a price cap is really going to affect their business model in a very big way. Pricing drugs above the reach of those who need them the most is, does not make any sense in health systems. And I think that's very important.
Would you have paid 12K or more on drugs on top of other treatments? Let us know what you think in the comment section below. That's all we have for you today. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and download the Logically app for more interesting facts. This is Team Logically signing out.